Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Golden Hour Drip podcast. I'm your host, Logan Lee Miller, and I just got back from the most amazing solo trip. And listen, solo trips are kind of taboo, however you want to say that word, because we sometimes live in a bit of a scary world, right? And to be a solo traveler can be a little scary. But on top of that, to be a female solo traveler can be even more scary. And I don't want people to, one, it is so important. You always need to have your safety to be the number one concern, right? Like, you want to make sure wherever you're going, you have vetted it out, you know where the hotel is, like where everything that you're going to be visiting is, emergency contacts, like all the things, right? Like, so I planned my 25th birthday weekend with the intention of going alone. And it was back in February time. One of my favorite podcast networks, Dear Media, they hosted their first ever Dear Media in real life. So a live podcast setting. And tickets went on sale in February, and without hesitation, I bought tickets, VIP tickets for myself. And after I bought them, I texted Garrett. I was like, hey, is it okay if I go to Austin for my birthday for a podcast show, but I want to do it alone, right? Garrett is absolutely so supportive of anything that I do. This isn't my first solo trip. So he was like, yep, absolutely. Like, you deserve to like have whatever fun, right? Like, so I booked the tickets for myself, and I thought, oh my gosh, like, they sold out so quick. So I'm glad that I got the VIP tickets when I did, and made that instant, like, okay, like, I'm going. I didn't know how I was going. I did not know, all of the specifics that I was going to have to work out. I just knew in that moment I wanted to go, and I needed to do this for myself. And so separating the scary part of solo traveling can be so freaking good as long as you worked out all of the safety precautions. It's amazing because, one, you are in charge of the entire trip. So anything that you want to do, you can pick and you can do it, and you don't have to worry about anybody else. It gives you an opportunity to practice your confidence because you'll be doing everything alone. It's great to meet friends, right? Like in situations, especially because the Dear Media in real life event, like, I knew that the people going there had the same intentions that I did, right? So that was like a safe environment. I could meet friends, but I would be cautious, like, if you meet friends like on a solo trip, and keeping that in the forefront. So I just want to preface this by saying, if you're going to solo travel, make sure that you're being extra super safe, right? But now that I've prefaced that, like, we're going into this story in this podcast with the knowledge, like, hey, if you're going on a solo traveling trip, you're going to be safe. So but you can meet some friends and you can say hi at a coffee shop or, places of work, whatever. Like, I think that is a great place to meet and talk with people. But a solo trip is also so good just for you to, one, gain clarity on wherever you are in your life at this time. For me, I needed to gain clarity because my 25th birthday was on Monday. If you guys listened to that podcast episode, I went ahead and I dropped the first 4 Fast Friday episodes. So that was the May 8th podcast. That oh my gosh, like I have been running around for the solo trip, but I wanted to give that to you guys as my birthday present. If you haven't already subscribed to our email list, I send out an extra episode every single Friday. So if you want to click in the show notes below, you can find that link and join our email list. Something very exciting is going to be announced this Friday, so you're gonna want to be on that email list. Anyways, so I wanted just to gain clarity before my 25th birthday. That was the following Monday. And I thought this was the perfect opportunity to get quiet and to kind of re-meet myself, right? There's so much going on in this world and in this crazy time. Like, we have work, we have obligations, we have friends, we have family. You might have a spouse, right? Like, you might have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a dog, a pet, whatever. And these solo trips can be just so good for getting quiet and getting in touch with yourself. So those were my intentions going into this this solo trip by myself to Austin, Texas. And I could not have been more excited to go. Like, it was building up. Like, I was in Iowa the week before, and so I had driven home. It's been a whirlwind of events, and I knew this is what was going to happen as soon as April ended, or I'm sorry, after our first wedding in April, because we have a slew of events, we have a lot going on, and it's going to be back to back to back to back stuff. So every single weekend until, I kid you not guys, September is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So I hope you're ready for this summer. The summer of 2023 is like the perfect year for me to be absolutely and completely selfish. Garrett and I were talking, because he just had a birthday this past Saturday. Our birthdays are so close together. We were talking about family planning and, you know, potentially if we do have a child, like, when will that timeline look like? And right now we are 100% wanting to be selfish, wanting to do and go and experience everything. And this trip made me really extra grateful, because sometimes I can compare myself to people that I went to high school with or people I went to college with, and they're having babies and they're doing this and that, and I'm just like, I'm on my own path. And so I think we all need to remember that sometimes when we are comparing ourselves. And I was like, you know what, like, part of me wants a baby, right? And part of me also doesn't want to have children. And I was just thinking to myself, if I had a child right now, it would be very, very hard for me to do this solo travel trip. That's not to say that if you have children, you can't go on a solo trip. I mean, I would highly recommend it, especially if you have all of that attention, I guess, given to other people, right? Like, it's so good to be selfish sometimes. And I was like counting down the days to this. So I had spent a week in Iowa. Rachel and Andrew, they had their bridal shower. Rachel did. It was fun celebrating her. Then I had a week of like learning a new software system, and then that Friday I drove home. It took me all day because I left at like 1 p.m. from Iowa. I had Rooster and Rowdy with me, and we made it into like Missouri. We got home. It was honestly kind of late. If we left at 1, we didn't get home until, it's a 6-hour drive, so it's like 7:30. But then Rooster and Rowdy needed to like go potty, and so it was a very, very slow trip. I get home, I eat. I haven't seen Garrett for a second, right? Like, and I'm about to go get on a plane to Austin, Texas. So I'm like rushing around. I'm trying to like get the laundry sorted so Garrett has some laundry. I have like a bunch of dirty laundry, so I'm like throwing that in the wash, like trying to get my leggings washed so I have like my favorite leggings to go. And I ended up, oh, I forgot, on the way from Iowa to Missouri to my house, I stopped at Target, because when you're planning a big trip, like, you have this impulsive, like, oh, do I have enough outfits? Am I going to be like packed enough? And I wanted to just bring my two carry-on bags. Like I wanted my suitcase, and then I had a camera bag, and I filled that to the brim with all my essentials, right? So I was like, ooh, do I have enough clothes? And I bought like another extra outfit. I ended up just returning after the event because I didn't end up wearing it, because I had been planning my outfit. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have saw it. It was these black faux leather pants. I got them from MKT, and then like this little black tank top and a blazer on top. So cute. And I wore these big platform heels. So adorable. We'll get to those later. I didn't want to wear cowboy boots because I was a little worried about packing them, and I should have worn cowboy boots. But so I'm packing, and I end up not getting everything packed because Garrett and I had Chinese, and we watched a little bit of TV. I just traveled for 6.5, almost 7 hours. I was dog tired. I had just worked all day. It was a very, very busy week. And I was like, oh my gosh, with the dogs and everything. So I just needed time to chill, relax, connect with Garrett before this next trip. And then I was like, all right, I need to take a shower. And so I'm ready because my flight left at 5 a.m. the following morning. So that means I need to leave the house by 3. I think actually, no, the flight left at 5:30, I think. So I need to leave the house by 3 to get there. And then go through all the security. Kansas City just got a new airport, so they are trying, it's completely new, and I had never gone yet. So here I am, 3 a.m. gonna be trying to make my way down that way. And so I was packing, and I had just brought 2 suitcases and a travel bag from my mom's. I had been there for an entire week, and I needed to transfer everything from that suitcase into a much smaller suitcase, wash the things that I needed washed, get all of my makeup, my hair products, take a shower, blow dry my hair, get ready for the next morning, because I knew that it was gonna be rough. It was gonna be very, very rough on me. So I'm packing, and I'm wanting it to be so particular, because I need to fit a lot of stuff in here to be able to just have my carry-on, and I don't want things to be wrinkly, because when you're going to an event like this, you want to be the most confident. I packed 3 pairs of shoes. This is a solo trip. I don't want to sit in the hotel room. That is not the purpose. I want to explore. I want to challenge myself. I want to try new things. That is what is important when you're going on a solo trip. You're pushing yourself. You're building that confidence. You're being bold, and you're experiencing new things. That is so important for your entire life, right? And so I knew that this is going to be the only weekend that I can be extremely selfish, only for myself. I don't have to do anything for anybody else. Like I said, every single weekend until September is jam-packed, and then we go into the holidays. So this is my one chance, and I'm celebrating my 25th birthday. I'm doing all the things for myself, right? So I'm packing the perfect clothes I've been planning for months, the extra impromptu clothes that I purchased, and that Target stuff was actually so important, because the travel deodorant, that is a game changer. I knew that Austin was going to be hot, okay? I knew it was going to be hot. So having that little spray can deodorant, I threw it in my purse. So while I was walking around, I could freshen up. I could put deodorant on. Don't sleep on those travel things. Those little travel, anything. Travel hairspray is so good. Travel deodorant, having mints, having Band-Aids in your purse, those are all great things to have. So I stopped at Target for a few travel things as well. And so I'm packing my bag, and guess what? It's freaking midnight. It's midnight before I get done. So hop in bed, I'm literally gonna get 3 hours of sleep after traveling for 6 hours. So So I always pack, I have like this little neck pillow and sleep mask that I got for our trip in January when we went to Las Vegas. And so I knew I had that. I was like, this is gonna be perfect. Like, I'm not gonna have to worry about a thing. And so I have my neck pillow, my AirPods, like, and my sleep mask packed. And actually, pro tip, because it is so hard to wake up early, right? Like, even when it's a big trip, like, you have to still drag yourself out of bed. And I was exhausted, right? But like, you gotta go. So I actually put my suitcase and my bag, my like purse and stuff in the truck the night before, so that all I had to do was get up. I had my outfit laying out. I could put it on, I wore my glasses. I didn't want to wear my contacts. And I put my glasses like right there. It was super easy. All I had to do was get up and put on the clothes and walk out the door. That is what really is good, because even if you like accidentally like press the snooze, which I put the phone on the floor, so I had to get out of bed, like there was no snooze gonna be taken, right? So I had it all ready. 3 o'clock comes around. I spring out of bed because I don't want to wake Garrett up, right? Like I'm gonna kiss him goodbye, but like I don't want him to be up and like his sleep ruined. So I get up, I like put my clothes on, I like slap myself awake, I put my glasses on, and I made sure that like my hair was clean the night before, blow dried, fresh. Like, I did not put any retinol on the night before. Because I only got 3 hours of sleep, I mean, my face was basically clean, because I washed it and I put all my stuff on. Everything was packed though. I try to keep it so minimum when like you're waking up early or you're trying to get anywhere, because you want it all to be packed. And I am the worst at doing too much. Like, that is one of my like things that I've been working on, is like, stop doing too much, only do what is needed. Don't try to pack it all in, because I'll usually like try to switch laundry and then like I'll start the dishwasher and then I need to do this. No, like, stop doing too much. Do what needs to be done on the list and prioritize, because if you're doing too much, that's what's going to make you stressed out, and that is going to make you like not have a good time. So cut it down. Just start cutting things out. And I just put it in the truck, okay? Like, I'm not gonna worry about it. So I had a little like caffeine water in the fridge. I got in my car, started blasting the tunes, and made my way to Kansas City. Honestly, like the parking, I always think that I'm not gonna be economy parking. I'm like, oh, economy, oh no, she's like too cheap. No, like, I always end up going to the economy. They have like new garages, like covered garages. It was gonna be $25 a day. Oh no, thank you. That would be $75 for the 3 days that I was gonna be there. No. So I parked in the economy. I swung all the way around. This is why it's good to get to the airport early, in case you have like little things like this. And so I'm like putting my truck, I'm parking it, and I was like, all right. And then I see the bus driver. He is picking people up like right then, like the little trolleys or whatever. And he had like just stopped, and I just pulled into the parking spot, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, he's gonna leave, like, this should be perfect, like, but I was like a little too late. And so I like hop out, shut the door, grab my stuff, and then he was waiting for me. He had pulled up just a little bit to like where my pickup was. I was like, oh yay, he waited for me. So I like, that's lucky girl syndrome, honey. Like, that is lucky girl syndrome. So I was like, perfect, he stopped. I grabbed my suitcase, and I grabbed my bag, and I grabbed my like energy water, I think that's what it's called. It wasn't very good, so I'm not even gonna name drop because it sucked, honestly. But I needed half of it, right? Like, I need some caffeine. So I get on there, and I think to myself, oh, what's the lot number? Because it was so like quick. It was so quick that I like dropped it off. I was like, oh, like, I forgot to like write down the lot number, right? Usually when Garrett and I are traveling together, that's like something he does. But this is to strengthen your independence, to strengthen you being your own person, and you can take care of yourself, right? So I was like, oh, I think that was like A7. It was not A7. We'll get back to that. So I hopped in there and I have my bright lime green suitcase and I have my little green bag. I'm feeling very matchy-matchy. I'm wearing black on black, like I'm cute, okay? I was thinking to myself, like, airport attire is literally like unlike any other attire, and I would love to be one of those people who wears like jeans on a plane, and maybe I'll get there. But I knew that I was not in a jean mood. No. So I'm in my leggings and my tennies and my little like tank top, and I had my Lululemon jacket on. I love to travel in this jacket. It's like perfectly lightweight, but also like holds so much like heat in, and you can like also wrap it up super small, and I can stuff it in like a small purse. So finally, I get there to the terminal and I'm waiting. I get on the plane, and my plane is supposed to like land in Austin, Texas around like 9 a.m. So I like immediately get on the plane. I put my AirPods in. I have my neck pillow around me. I put my glasses off. I put them in my case, and I put my eye mask down because I need to get some sleep. If I'm landing, and this was my whole plan, like I wanted to experience Austin. I wanted to roam around. I wanted to try new things. I wanted to like really and truly just explore, and I needed some sleep. So we get there around 9. I did not check a bag, so I had everything with me. And this is a pro tip. I immediately go and find one of those family restrooms, and I take my suitcase, everything in there. Usually the family restrooms, they have like a better, like they have a separate sink, like there's more area. And I freshen up. I completely open my suitcase. I take my glasses, I put my contacts in, I'm like doing my whole skincare routine. I get ready in those bathrooms because my hotel check-in was not until 3 p.m. and I want to run around. Like I want to feel refreshed. I want to feel good. So I'm literally always in those family restrooms, and I am trying to get myself ready for the day. So that's a little pro tip if you don't want to seem like airport sweaty, yucky, like freshen up. Do a little freshening up, okay? So I freshened up and I took my time because I'm just by myself, so I'm not worried about like other people like wanting to rush me. I like get down there, I have my suitcase, and I'm like, okay, the hotel will take your bags early. If you did not know this, your hotel room will, or your hotel, they usually, most of them, I know Holiday Inn is, they'll take your bags early. So I took an Uber from the airport, and I was just like looking around. It was beautiful. And I get to the hotel and I ask them, hey, like, would you mind holding on to my suitcases before check-in? They always say yes. They're so sweet. And I dropped off my suitcases. Now, I made sure to have my purse. My camera bag fits my purse in there, and I made sure to have, while I was in the family restroom, made sure that I had my charger, that I had my wallet, all the important things, and I put a purse inside the bag. So now I could just have like my little travel purse, like my walking around purse. And I then like left all my stuff and I started walking. My first thing was I need to get a coffee, a matcha, something. I found this really cute little coffee shop, and I got a mushroom coffee and like this little bagel, because honestly, or this little like croissant looking thing, it was like a knot. It was very good. But I knew I wanted coffee because it was going to be a long day, and I also just like wanted a little treat, and I wanted to become acquainted with the area. So my hotel was right on the Colorado River, so immediately as I step out of the hotel, the river is right there. It is stunning. It is beautiful. Because I wanted to make sure that was very close to Distribution Hall. That's where the Dear Media in Real Life event was. I wanted to make sure that was fairly close to it. Holiday Inn I have points with them, so I always try to book the points when I can. And I, like, when you're solo traveling, like, kind of look at the area before you go. Make sure, like, whatever you're actually going to, like that big event, like, make sure it's kind of close by, make sure it's a well-populated area, and all the good things. So I, like, you kind of get a little nervous by yourself, but this is the time to practice your confidence, and I kept thinking to myself, okay, the worst thing that could happen, right? But no, I try to be positive, go out there. And so I'm right next to this river, the river, and everybody is like biking and riding and has their dogs and it's kayaking. It's very well populated. And it immediately made me think, oh my gosh, like, what a cool place to live, because everybody is so active. There's this beautiful river. People were paddleboarding, people were kayaking. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. So what I did is, while I was dropping my stuff off at the hotel, I put one ear pod in my ear and left the other one. And that is how I, like, had directions. So I got the directions set up on my phone, and then I put one earbud in so that my directions could tell me where to go, but I wasn't looking at my phone the entire time, right? Like, blocking my face, not looking at my surroundings. So I put one AirPod in, put my phone, like, in the waistband of my pants, so if I needed to, like, check really quick. But then I just started walking, and it led me to the coffee shop, and that's where I could do, like, a little bit more, like, seeing where I'm at, seeing where everything is located. I ended up buying tickets to a Comedy Cellar. I love comedy shows, they're so cute. But I was, like, looking in the area, looking on the map, and I had seen, like, the Comedy Cellar was kind of near the distribution hall. The event wasn't until, like, the following day, but I was like, oh cool, like, I might see where the distribution hall is. And I was like, oh, let me buy tickets, because I wanted to do something. I wanted to experience it. And you have, like, you cannot stay holed up in your hotel. Like, if you're gonna go on a solo trip, like, experience things, go out. Like, it is okay to be by yourself. People think all the time, oh no, I couldn't possibly, like, go to supper by myself. I couldn't possibly go shopping by myself. I can't do this by myself. Yes, you can. It is so important to do things by yourself, because you're not relying on another person to baby your way through things, to not, like, make you, oh, like, let's do this together. Like, no, like, have your independence. Like, Garrett and I have been married for 2.5 years, and I have my own independence. I do my own stuff. Like, that's very important. He does his own stuff. So go out, don't stay in your hotel room. I bought tickets. I wanted tickets for 8 p.m., but they were sold out, and the only time I could get it was for the 10 p.m. I went ahead, got the 10 p.m. tickets, because I figured, you know what, like, this is a Comedy Cellar. I've been to one before. They're fine. It's not a big deal. Very safe. And I booked my tickets. So usually it was like $25. So it wasn't very, very expensive. And I got my coffee, and I ended up walking to, like, this really, really nice ramen noodle shop. I walked all around the, like, town. That's all I did. Like, I literally got, like, 20,000 steps that day. Like, I walked everywhere. That's no joke. Like, I literally walked up and down. And I also, like, had some golden hour drip stickers that I stuck, like, on these poles that had other stickers on it. It was so much fun, honestly. And I was just walking and looking at people and experiencing Austin and checking things out. And it was so much fun, but it also gave me time to think. And I sat by the Colorado River, I had the ramen noodles, and then it was 3 p.m. I was like, ooh, finally, 3 p.m. Actually, it wasn't 20,000 steps. It was 20,000 steps, like, the following day. I think that day I only got 15, just so you know, sorry. But I walked a lot. I've walked a freaking lot all day. And then 3 p.m. came around. So I ended up getting back to the hotel around, like, 2. My phone battery, I was very conscientious of it. I wanted to make sure that, like, I was able to order an Uber, call for help, whatever I needed. And I got back to the hotel. I asked for my bags because I was still, like, 30 minutes to an hour before my check-in time. I pulled out my book, I read, I'd gotten a bit of sun, so I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to get inside. I'm feeling pretty fatigued at this time from the sun, from the walking, from everything. I was like, you know what, like let's go back to the hotel. Let's wait until like my room is to open or whatever. And I read my book, and then finally, it was 3 p.m. When I tell you that this hotel room was stunning, it was literally so freaking beautiful. It was on the very top floor, and the window was so huge and it had these big drawback curtains, and I could see like the city. It was so cool. I instantly got in the shower. I scrubbed every single part of myself, and honestly, like it just relaxed all of my muscles, and I got into bed and I took a nap, and I set my alarm for like 7 p.m. because if I had to go to a Comedy Cellar at 10 p.m., like I needed a little bit of sleep. So I slept, then I like woke up. I was a little groggy, but I honestly, like I needed that sleep. I needed to recuperate, honestly, like that's the best feeling. If you're on vacation and you're out in the sun all day, and then you take a shower and you take a little nap, and then you're so like refreshed and glowy or sunburnt red like I was, and ready for the evening. So I ended up like going to this like little burger bar. It was an artisan burger bar. It was called, let me see, Hop Dottie Burger Bar in Austin, Texas. So good. My waitress actually, while like shoot, I sat at the bar, because I'm by myself, like I'm not gonna take a table. I had like the best Caesar salad and a tuna steak burger. Oh my gosh. It was the best burger, like tuna steak burger I've had for like a very long time. But as I was sitting there, my waitress, she was like, oh my gosh, like, or the bartender, if you will, she was talking to like some of her friends, and one of the friends was like, oh my gosh, like I've heard this song like probably 7 times, and I could listen to it for like 1,000,000 times more. And I was like, okay, like it must be a good song, like that's kind of weird to say, but we're like listening to it. And then her name is, I had to like grab my phone to look her up. Her name is Madison Baker, Baker, Madison Baker. But she was my bartender, and she's like, I wrote this song, like this is me singing. I was like, you're kidding, like how amazing is that? And it was called U-Shaped Dent. Ooh, it was such a good freaking song. But if I wouldn't have gone on this trip all by myself and like sat there at the bar and like chatted with her, I would have never known that she wrote this song. It's so good, guys. Pull it up on Spotify. Madison Baker, U-Shaped Dent. Oh, it was great. It was so good. But she was honestly a great bartender too. I had a little mocktail because it was so late at night. I wanted to make sure that I was aware of everything, and honestly, like I don't really drink that much anyways. I do like having a little drink sometimes, but I didn't feel comfortable in the situation at this time. Uber honestly was the greatest thing made. I love Ubering everywhere, especially because I didn't want to walk around in the dark at night. I felt more comfortable having the Uber, and I got dropped off at the Comedy Cellar, and so I get there and I'm walking around, and there's like a bit of construction, and I saw like some lights and stuff, and I was like, oh, like that's where it is. No. That was some sort of concert, and I was like, I have no idea whether this Comedy Cellar is. And this is where I had to really trust myself, and it was a definite like confidence building opportunity. So I was like, on the map, it says I'm where the Comedy Cellar is. There are people milling around, like it's a bar setting. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna walk around like I have confidence. I know where I'm going. I'm wearing comfortable shoes. Like I I can do this. And so I walked around the construction. There's a building with construction on it. And I walked all around the construction trying to find the Comedy Cellar place because it said it was right there. And the entire time I'm questioning myself, should I be out here? Should I be walking around? But I was like, there is an event happening. Like, people are noisy and loud. Like, there's security at this concert. Like, I'm fine. I walked around and then I was like, you know what? It's only $25. It's only $25. I would have really loved to see the Comedy Cellar, but you know, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna go back to the place where he drops me off and I'm just gonna call another Uber and it will be fine. I will go home, I will watch a movie, I will journal, I will do something. It'll be okay. And as I'm walking, I've given up completely. I walk over there and I see this little itty bitty sign. It's probably 8 by 11, the same size as a piece of paper. And it's sitting outside and it says comedy club. I said, boom. If I would have given up too early, I'd essentially given up. I was like, I would have never found it. And the thing is, this was a hole in the frickin' wall. A hole in the wall. It was someone's like, it was very like, it's their home vibes. There was an Indian man owned it because he was one of the comics for the night. There was like a like tapestry, like it's a very like cozy vibe. There's probably only 25 people there. Like, it's very intimate, to say the least. I sat in the third row. I was by myself. I was like, I'm not getting picked on. Absolutely no way, no how. I'm not getting picked on. And I was like, ooh, like, I was just so happy. I was literally so happy and proud of myself because I was so scared, and I'm tired of being scared, and I am tired of waiting for someone to tell me that it's okay, right? Like, and we all have this confidence inside us. We all have the opportunity to step out into faith and to be confident and know, like, hey, I'm okay. Like, I know how to handle myself. Like, I can figure this out. I can figure anything out. And so when I walked in there, I was like literally, thank you, Lord, for keeping me safe. But also, good job, Logan. I went straight to the bathroom. I looked at myself in the mirror and I went to bawl. And I was like, I'm so proud of you. You found it. Like, you found it. You could have given up immediately. You relied on your instinct, you relied on yourself, and that, like, trusting your intuition is such, like, it's hard. It is so hard, especially because sometimes you can't hear your intuition because everyone else's opinions are so freaking loud. And going on a solo trip like this is so important because you're given the opportunity to test yourself, to say, hey, like, you are trusted, like, you're able to do this, like, you have the confidence. And the Comedy Cellar was perfect. I'm so glad that I was able to go to it. They had, no joke, like 20 to 20, like literally 20 people. It was 2 hours long. People just kept coming and I laughed so hard. And laughter is just so good for your body. It's the best medicine. It really is. And I just felt like I needed it. I needed a good laugh. I needed to trust myself. I needed to be there. And after a full day of walking and getting the sun and taking a great nap and then being showered and having supper by myself and going to this comic show, it's almost like just re-falling in love with yourself. You ever see a little kid? They always have the most confidence, especially in a one-on-one setting. You know, maybe some kids are more shy in bigger situations, but children usually are so confident in themselves and they don't care what anybody else thinks, and they're so happy with their bodies, with their like wants, needs, interests, like, and so I was just trying to get back to that childlike state. I'm trying to get back to loving myself, trusting myself, and listening to my intuition. And I was proud of myself. Comedy Cellar ended up ending at like 12 or midnight, whatever. I get an Uber back home. I'm just elated. I'm feeling so good. I know that I'm gonna sleep in. And the Dear Media in real life event was the following day. And so like, I'm glad that I had such a filled day, because I feel like the anticipation would have killed me if I like wasn't able to sleep. Like that would have been worse. Like I wanted to be able to sleep. I wanted to be able to like be ready for the event. And I went to bed and it was so good. Also, like I didn't put any makeup on for like the evening event. I was just trying to be fully confident in myself, and I was just so proud of myself. You should really take a solo trip. Like I'm telling you, you will discover things about yourself that if you wouldn't have taken it, you would have never known. So the next day, Dear Media in real life event, I was stoked, guys. I was stoked. Lauren Bostic is someone I have looked up to for a very long time. It was one of the very first podcasts I ever listened to. I was still in college. I think I was like a freshman, sophomore. I was listening. It was amazing. I loved every point of it. Lauren is so unapologetically herself, in the best way possible. Her husband, Michael, crazy entrepreneur, awesome, amazing. If you have not listened to this Skinny Confidential, absolutely go check them out. They have so many awesome, amazing guests on there. So I was jacked. This is like a celebrity, right? Like I could not wait to see this person that I had looked up to. Like this was better than any sort of concert. Like the only person that I would get like this crazy about seeing like in concert would probably be Kelsey Ballerini, love her, or my girl Carrie Underwood. I saw her last November, December with a friend. Oh, she was so good too. But this is like my Super Bowl. Like I kept seeing like so many of these posts like, this is my Super Bowl. Hell yes, like this was my Super Bowl. I was feeling so freaking confident and in love with myself, honestly. And I think self-love is so important. I feel like we don't give ourselves the opportunity to love ourselves and have that self-love and be like, you know what? I love myself. Like, especially because so many people, companies, like they all give us these reasons on why we shouldn't love ourselves. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm going to be a rebel. I'm going to love myself in the best way possible and not in the cringe way. I don't honestly care if it's cringe or not. I love myself. So I am wearing these cute little like faux leather pants and like this cute little tank top and my blazer, and I have these big chunky heels. I love these heels. I wore them for Sawyer and Felicia's wedding. Oof. They just hit. My toes are bright pink. I was feeling hot, okay? I curled my hair, I like did a little blowout. I'm feeling good. Also, it made me realize that my blow dryer at home, I need to replace it, because even the shitty hotel blow dryer is better than mine. Like I've had mine for a couple years and I feel like it's just getting too hot and it's probably being bad for my hair. So I'm gonna trash it as soon as this episode is over. But I'm giving myself a little blowout, a little curl. I'm feeling good. And I get to the event. Well, first I had to do another Target run. I forgot mascara. I was so mad. Whenever I'm running late, like mascara will be the last thing that I put on. I throw it in a purse, and I accidentally threw it in my work bag. I did not bring my work bag, and so I had no mascara. So I grabbed a Red Bull. I love Red Bull, guys. Like I had a apricot, those Red Bulls. Chef's kiss, so good. So I grabbed a Red Bull, I grabbed mascara, and I got another Uber. I had an Uber drop me off at Target and then pick me back up. It was only a couple blocks, but I did not want to arrive too sweaty, okay? Like, I like walking everywhere, but in this instance, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna walk because I don't want to be freaking sweaty. So I like hop in the Uber, I get to the event, I'm feeling so good about myself, I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling like I just had a Red Bull and everybody's lined up. It's kind of like a concert. So everybody's all lined up. They're like, I'm so cute. I'm like looking at the outfits. And as I exit my Uber, I'm like, I need to give them a tip and I need to like give them 5 stars, right? So I like get out of the Uber and I have my phone and I'm like clicking 5 stars and I'm trying to like tip him. And the worst thing happens. The ground is a little uneven. I've worn these platforms before. They're not even like hard to walk in. It just hits wrong. It hits wrong and I go down. I go down so hard and I hit my knee on the pavement and I'm still like trying to like rate my Uber, you know? I fall in front of everybody. Everybody is looking at me. I shit you not. Everybody is looking at me and I just fell. And you know what? A past version of myself would have been so embarrassed. But I can tell you right now, because of all the self-love that I have been giving myself the past like 24 hours, I got up, I was like, that's what I get for texting, like just like texting and walking, right? Like, because that's what I was doing. And I could feel the gravel embedded, because it was like a chip and seal, but there was like some gravel. I could feel the gravel embedded in my skin. I just like walked it off. And you know what? It wasn't even a fake confidence. I was still feeling confident. I was like, oh my gosh, like things happen. You're gonna trip and fall. Do not let that impact your big event, okay? Things will happen. Brush it off. It slid right off my back, honey. And I walked up, I brushed it off. I was like, got in line, met some amazing freaking friends. And then I looked down and I realized like my knee actually kind of looks bad. So I like brushed it off. I was like not worrying about it. And I just started chatting and acted like it never happened. After acknowledging it, I think it's good to acknowledge it. After that, I was like, who cares? People fall every day. It's fine. And I did not let that impact my event. I was like, you know what? I'm here and I am still in love with myself. Like, I'm not going to let this wreck anything. And I met some super sweet girls. I met Shay in line. She is a mother from Virginia. So good talking to her. She put me immediately at ease. I was like, this is so good. And we were waiting out in the line. We had VIP tickets and then we go into the event. Guys, when I tell you, stunning, immaculate, so much thought was put into this event. Couches, tables, like there was some of the brands that Lauren and Michael talk about like time in and time again on the podcast, like the OG, like the best things, like they've recommended it, they're there. She has these like ice rollers and pink balls. It's like a sculpting device for her face. You guys know I love my skincare. They had breakfast there. They had like milk and the brand of like milk, but it's M-A-L-K, milk, and it's an alternative to milk. They had like these really great granola and they had fresh fruit and they had a VIP lounge and it was very Austin inspired. Everyone is wearing boots. I was like, I should have worn my boots, like, because I own boots, like I wear boots sometimes, so I wanted to wear like these cute shoes. You pick your own journey, okay? You pick your own journey, but I immediately just like felt even more elated and so happy to be there. They had the death water, what's it called? Oh my gosh. They had these cans of water. It was hot, it was getting warm. And then the area where the event was actually held, stunning. These little clear plastic chairs, rows and rows and rows. And it started at like 10 o'clock. It was around 11 before, like doors opened at like 10 or something like that. We walked around, we got breakfast, we were meeting people, and we finally like get to the point where we like sit down and the first guest, like literally the lineup was so freaking good. And these are podcasters that I've listened to, like, and I was just taking it all in. I got a great seat right up front. And I was just listening to every single speaker and thinking, oh my gosh, the passion that they have for their talent, for their thing that they love, like it is truly inspiring. And I felt like this event was so needed for my soul to reignite the passion to connect with others. Honestly, I don't know how to explain in the best way possible. It was like being reborn, because I know that I am making a huge life pivot. And I just heard on another podcast, talking about pivoting. She said, instead of thinking of it as pivoting, thinking of it as reimagining. So right now I'm reimagining my life right now. And if you want to listen to that podcast, it's Lindsay Schwartz, and it is her the power of pivoting and how to navigate the in-between sessions. I was listening to that today. So I'm trying to think I am not pivoting in my life, I am reimagining it. And you cannot reimagine things unless you get quiet, unless you have that time to yourself, unless you are able to pinpoint what you do like and what you don't like. And that's what I needed to do. I needed to sit my butt in that chair. I needed to soak it all up. I needed to be inspired. And honestly, it was my Super Bowl. That's the best way I can describe it. It was my Super Bowl. I'm sitting and I'm soaking it in. They had awesome, amazing speakers. They had a welcome, and then they had a business panel, a comedy panel, and they had a social media panel. The What We Said podcast girls were there. I've listened to them in 2020 and 2021. That's when I first got introduced to them. So my friend Kennedy had told me all about them. So I was listening to them pretty heavy at one point in my life. And now I listen to some of their episodes every once in a while. But love those girls. Love those girls so freaking much. JC and Chelsea were so inspiring and so funny in real life. It was just, I got to ask them a question, and that honestly was a huge moment for me. I was like, this is so cute. I have your merch. I have your t-shirt. I've been listening to you since 2020. This is insane. I remember in quarantine listening to them. I also remember in quarantine listening to the Skinny Confidential and going on walks with Rooster when he was a little puppy, and thinking, okay, during that time it was very stressful for me. I was trying to regulate my my nervous system. I was going outside all the time, and having a podcast in your ear is just, it's so soothing and so nice. And so it honestly, there was a couple of people that I had not heard of before that opened my eyes up to their podcast. And then when Lauren came out, I was it was definitely a fangirl moment. I couldn't help but get so excited, because this is a person, like I said, it was in my youth, right? I was listening to Lauren even before then, when I was in college. And I mean, a podcast, I'm sharing so much with you, right? I'm sharing all of my deepest thoughts, and it's the same, right? I listen to other podcasters. You build this relationship. Even if it's seemingly one-sided, you feel like you know them. And I want my podcast to be intimate. I want you to feel like you know me. And if you ever want to DM me or anything, I'm here for you, right? And so it honestly was just a huge networking event. I met so many amazing girls, and follow them on social, and so many plans. And going to an event like this can spark something in your brain where you think, oh my gosh, you refine your passion, you realign yourself with the things that matter. It's an adrenaline rush, right? And I just kept thinking to myself, when I bought these tickets, I really did not think that I was going to be here. The VIP tickets were not that expensive for the event that they over-delivered. They always do. It was freaking amazing. Our merch bag alone, huge. Full-size shampoo and conditioner, so many supplements. It was so much fun. It was just so much fun. I got this really comfy sweater from the Lonely Ghost, sweatshirt. It was purple. It's so cute. I had the best time. It was a great networking. You have to put yourself in situations like that. You have to go out and you have to meet other people. If you ever, like, especially being solo. And I think sometimes we get so isolated or in a rut, right? Like, we're in our hometown, or we've settled, right? Like, we're in our careers, we're doing this. Like, I don't ever want to be settled. I always want to be chasing for that next thing. I always want to be improving myself. I always want to be challenging myself and finding the next good and the next thing. And this, honestly, it challenged me. It pushed me out of my comfort zone. I went to an event that I literally did not know a single person. But you sit there and you meet them, and like, you start to make friends and connections. And honestly, like, there were so many. I'm gonna pull it up because like, you meet these women and you go through something like this together. It's an experience. It's a shared experience. Even though I was on a solo trip, it was a shared experience with the other audience members. So I met Sam Myers. She has the Unfit Pod. So sweet, so kind. She's also the best photographer. I got to meet Lauren, and she literally like pulled out like her phone and she started like taking photos. Like, Lauren is my icon. She is stunning, beautiful, smart as hell. Like, I look up to her, right? And so for Sam to be able to catch that on the phone, actually now Sam and Shay both were taking photos. So it was great. Like, it was the best time. And then I met another girl. This is honestly so hard because like, you meet people and you're like, oh, like, and then as soon as I sit down in front of you, like, I lose it all in my brain. But she has, hold on, I will get to her. She was so sweet. I sat right next to her. On the other side of me, her name is Emma, and Emma has Emma Lou the Label, which is a workout. She has like a workout set that helps with bloat. Oh my gosh, guys, like, I need to place an order ASAP. And sitting next to Emma, so inspiring. She created her own athletic line. That is the kind of inspiration that makes me want to try something new, to push myself, to like actually have the discipline, right? Like, she went after something that she was so passionate about. I met another girl who has a probiotic skincare line. She made a skincare line that has probiotics in them. If you want to check that one out, it's called skiniv.co. She honestly was the sweetest freaking girl ever. I can't remember her name right now, and she doesn't have it in the bio, but I want to say it was like, I'm going to butcher it. She gave me her business card. The business card was so sweet, so cute. But I would have never, ever met these amazing freaking women if I hadn't had the courage to step out and to show up. And sometimes that's all you have to do. You have to get outside your comfort zone. You have to be by yourself, because sometimes I feel like when we're with our friends, we are able to not push ourselves, right? Like, we're coddled by our friends. Like, we stay in our little groups and we're like, oh, like, we'll just stay in the corner. Like, we don't need to talk to you. We don't need to do anything. Like, we're just going to hang out by ourselves, like, and be in our clique and to be lazy. Like, I went to meet new people. I went to try new things. And I would never have got to meet them or heard their story if I wouldn't have pushed myself, if I wouldn't have just gone to the event. And I'm just honestly, like, I'm so very proud of myself. And I hope that this podcast was encouraging for you to also like go out and try something new and to push yourself. And even if you don't know anybody, like, you can meet friends. I promise you, it is easier than you think. You can meet friends at any given time. And I felt like this soul connection with these women and with the hosts, like, and hearing their stories and the question panels, and I don't know, it was truly life-changing. I had so much to think about. And I know this trip was all about like not allowing other people's opinions affect me or not compare myself. And I wasn't comparing myself at this event. I was just so encouraged, and I was thinking, how can I implement this into my daily life? How can I find community where I don't have to take a plane and go to Austin, Texas, right? Like, these events are supposed to be inspiring. They're supposed to like ignite something inside of you to where you want to like push and do something more, right? And I was just feeling super charged up. We had like an intermission. They had like taco trucks and barbecue and all of these things, and it gave us a chance to like really talk to the people around us. And I honestly, like, I just enjoyed every single minute of it. Looking at other people's outfits was so fun. I was still very much enjoying mine, very feeling confident. So many boots, so cowboy hats. Like, there was this one like skincare booth. I also have to look that one up. Where the heck did I don't know. Oh my gosh, I've lost my phone. I don't know where it went. Anyways, there was this one skincare place where they like, oh, it's right in my back pocket. Let me look it up, because they honestly, like, they deserve the free promo. And I was talking to the girl who was doing my like, so they're a facialist place, like they do facials and stuff, but it was for your hands. Like, they wanted to do something for the event, so they did like facials for your hand. Like, how innovative is that? Like, I instantly got inspired by that like thing, because here they are, a skincare company for your face, and they're like, how can we be a part of this event? How can we like be included? Let's give facials to people's hands. I was like, honestly, like, that is so freaking smart. And that company is called, oh my gosh, I am having troubles pulling them up. They were so freaking good. Like, honestly, it was the best hand facial I had ever gotten. It's called the Face Foundry. So if you want to look it up on Instagram, Face, FACE, they're a facial bar, so similar to Dry Bar. But here I was, like, getting my hands massaged, she's applying like skincare. I worry about my hands sometimes, because they say like people can take care of their face but forget about their neck and their hands, and that's where like they look old. So honestly, I've been putting suntan lotion or sunscreen on my hands. Like, once I put it on my face, I put it on my hands next. And here she was, like, doing a facial for my hands. Like, that is innovative. That is the inspiration I need. Like, that is everything. And I think that they're going to have an event in Kansas City, so I'm hella excited. Like, there's another connection. Like, if I wouldn't have went, I would have never known, and I wouldn't have been able to follow them. Like, community and connection and networking is literally so imperative, because we should be introduced to new culture, new people, new ideas all the time, because that gives, even if it's not something you want to do, it still like awakens a part of your brain that allows you to be creative, to allow you to be innovative, to just all the things. And as I was looking on my like recent follow list, I actually, there was another girl that I met, and she has the Host by Tori show. Her name is Tori. She is sober curious, so sweet, just got married. She gives all of the, oh my gosh, who just got also married, who's like the new it girl, very like, oh my gosh. I'm so, Nicole Richie's little sister, so it's, oh gosh, I cannot think of her name, and Sophia Richie just got married. Tori gave those same vibes. If you want to check Tori out, her podcast is The Tori Show. Let me re-pull it up again. the Host by Tori show. So freaking cute. Oh my gosh, like her style, immaculate. Her skin, perfect. Like very, very much Sophia Richie vibes. And I was like, like how great. And another awesome thing is everybody was from a different place. And so you immediately feel like immersed and you're just like, I would have never met you. I would have never met you. That's what makes it so amazing. Like you're able to just be extroverted and to meet people. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted this focus to be on me, and I wanted the focus to be on having the confidence to talk to someone else. Because it can be freaking nerve-wracking. It can be so hard to just put yourself out there and have the potential that someone won't talk to you nicely back, right? But I've never really like gone up to a group of girls because here's the thing. I did it. Like I went to groups, I introduced myself, I just started talking. I was like, oh, like I complimented them by something that I actually genuinely liked. Started that conversation. And also like I met Sam and Sam knew or followed Tori. Oh, Hannah, I forgot about Hannah Wellness. I followed her on social media and she was also at the event. Isn't social media so great? I hope you guys aren't tired of me like pulling up people that I like met or followed because I'm just like, I literally could cry. Like, and I texted Garrett all day. I was like, so Hannah Brooke Wellness. So Hannah, like regular, Brooke, Brooke Wellness. I followed her, I think I saw Dear Media like share her post and I like followed her like after seeing them share her post or whatever. And so I've like been watching her since February, like take her nutrition test. Like she's in college right now and she's working on being a holistic coach and just launched her website. It's like all this inspiration and I literally could cry. Like right now I could cry. And I'm not gonna cry. Oh my gosh. And I'm not gonna cry, but I literally texted Garrett and I was just so grateful. One, that I had the opportunity to go, that I had funds in my bank account, that I had a job that, you know, I was able to save some money and I was able to go on this event. And that I had the opportunity to take off work and to go and that my husband was supportive of me and I know people will say, oh, well, your husband should be supportive of you. Some people don't have a supportive husband or spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend. And the fact that mine encourages me to, and now I'm actually crying. I'm always so encouraged. Like he always just like, right now, like when I record a podcast, like he puts on his headphones and like, cause I get embarrassed sometimes like talking and he's always so encouraging for the things that I want to do. And like, if he wasn't that way, like I wouldn't have got to go on a solo trip. Like some people get so jealous, right? Like I've had boyfriends where they were jealous and they didn't want me to go out and do things and they didn't want me to be confident and they didn't want me to like be Logan, right? To just be me. And so I was uber grateful and I was just so freaking happy. And it was the perfect way to welcome my 25th birthday. I'm full out sobbing, guys. Anyways, we'll get this together in a second. But I was just elated. After the event ended, I got an Uber and I went to my room and I just felt so happy, just undeniably happy. And I don't know, guys, it was just a phenomenal feeling. I knew that I was meant to be there, that I was meant to, I got to meet Lauren. That was so cool. I got to meet an amazing group of girls who are so inspiring, who are chasing after their dreams, and they weren't even a speaker on stage, right? And I just thought to myself, how awesome. How awesome that we live in a world of social media, that we have planes, and I think really expressing that gratitude is important. And I got home, and even though my knee was a little scraped up, that's okay. And I changed into like super comfy clothes, and I laid on that bed, and I immediately, like, I posted because I loved every minute of it. And I was just taking it all in, and I wanted to be reflective, and I wanted to just like enjoy the time, because the next day I was leaving, so I like ordered a pizza. I went and I walked. Actually, I was very proud of myself. I walked to the pizza place. It was 9 minutes away, a 9-minute walk, and it was like 8 p.m. I picked up a pizza, and I got into bed, and I called Garrett and was like, thank you for letting me go. Again, like, people can think like your husband shouldn't be able to tell you what to do, but some husbands do. So I was very grateful that mine doesn't. And I just sat on that bed and I ate my pizza, and it was a great feeling. It was like the greatest feeling in the world. And I was just very like happy that I was able to do this. And the next day, it was Sunday, my flight didn't leave until late. It left at like 9 p.m. Like, I wasn't gonna get into Kansas City until like 11 or 10 or 11 or something like that. And I spent the entire day like just exploring again. Your hotel will keep your bags, like I said, the same for when you check into a hotel. Like, they also will like keep your bags before your plane leaves. And I'm very thankful, like, for the little trips that I took. Like, when we went to Chicago for Christmas, like, Riley and Jim showed us how to work Uber. So then I was able to like practice Ubering in January when we went to Las Vegas. And so I felt confident in myself because I had practiced these skills. And while we were in Las Vegas, Grant and Steph, they're like, oh yeah, we'll just leave our luggage, you know? So it's all in the mindset of, okay, like, I've learned the skills, like, I can do it. And so I dropped off my luggage. And this is actually freaking amazing. I forgot about this. So I dropped off my luggage. I walked to the coffee shop. I walk next to the Colorado River. I'm just fully enjoying every single moment. It's my last day. I'm reminiscing. I'm reflecting on everything that happened. And I like get my coffee, and I'm walking around, and I see one of my friends swiped up on my story, and she was like, are you in Texas? I was like, yes. She was like, I'm visiting my aunt. Where are you at? Do you want to go to the boot store? I was like, hell yeah. And I was thinking about buying a pair of boots because I had worn my big shoes, and I was like, oh, I should have wore boots. But I met her, we got tacos, we went to the super, super fancy boot store, and I got to see Stingray boots. Those were freaking cool. But that was also amazing that I was able to meet. Her name is Jessica. Her sister actually owns MKT clothing store. And I was able to meet with Jessica in Texas, and we both live like in the same area. So to see her like in Texas, that was pretty cool. And she tried on boots, and it was like a beautiful boot store. And then after that, it was around like 2 p.m. I walked back to the hotel, and I was about to order an Uber, but one of the guys at the hotel was like, oh, are you going to the to the airport? I was like, yeah, I am. He's like, I'll take you. We have a shuttle. Save me $25. Are you kidding me? I did not know that hotels, I know that it makes sense, but like, you can call ahead, and this is all about experience, honey. Like, I'm just freshly 25, you know, like sometimes I don't know these things. And so I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, I'm saving $25. And it was also one of those moments. He was a very sweet, I could tell he was giving, this like henchman vibes, like he was like a grounds worker, but he also apparently like drove the bus to the airport. And so he was giving like henchman vibes, the mafia vibes. And he, like, I was waiting in line to like get my ticket for my bags. There was like a few people, and he's like, oh, you're waiting for your bags, let me help you. And he like went behind, got my bags, came back, and I was standing outside, and he was like, oh, are you going to the airport? I was like, yes, like I am. He's like, okay, I'll take you. And I was like, you're gonna take me? I just met you, sir. But I hopped in that, like, he looked like he worked there. Like, he went and got my bags. The front desk didn't stop him from getting my bags, and he took me to the airport. He was so sweet. His brother is having some heart issues, and he had just got back from California from visiting him. And the sweetest man, here he takes me to the airport, and he's like, you know, I don't know, I love making those connections with people. I love hearing about their story. I love hearing, like, I hate small talk. I want to hear what makes you feel alive or what you're struggling with. Like, those are the things that make me so, so happy. So I made this connection with this man. He was like older, you know, like probably 50s, like late 50s. I get to the airport, I get to the place, I'm a little bit early, but I just want to make sure that I'm on time, because the last time I took a solo trip was to Florida, Florida in March last year. Actually, I don't know if that was my last or like most recent trip. I think maybe I've taken some in between there, but I got stuck at the airport. It was horrific, but I wanted to be on time. I wanted to be early. I wanted to feel like I knew what was going on. And while I was waiting for my plane, I watched Angry Birds, the movie. Such a good movie. But as I was sitting there, I saw this veteran in a chair, and his grandson looked like a putz. Like, literally, this is what makes me so mad. Like, your grandparent is right there, and you could tell he wants to chat. Like, he's sitting in his chair, like, you can tell he wants to like chat, but like his grandson is like on his cell phone, you know? And I like took my earphones off, and he was like kind of in his wheelchair over here, and then we just started a conversation, and it was a beautiful conversation. Come to find out, he is from where I'm from, Warrensburg. He has like a bunch of family. Here I am pulling out my damn phone again, guys. I'm working on my memory. Like, my memory is not that great, but I rely on my phone so much to like pull things up that I forget about, or to like just like recall things. But he actually, his family, so it's called, there's a book that was written about his family in Johnson County. It's called An Informal History of Black Families of the Warrensburg, Missouri area. This man was so proud to share with me about his family members that live in Warrensburg. I was like, are you kidding? Like, what a connection, you know, like what a freaking connection that we, like, here we are in Austin, Texas, and we have that connection. It's a small world, guys. It's a small, small world. And I was able to just like make that connection with him. And I wouldn't have done that if I didn't take my earphones out. I didn't talk to people. I didn't just allow myself to be immersed where I was at in that moment. So this trip was definitely eye-opening. It was so fun. I got in my truck, and the clock struck midnight, and I just like shouted out, and I was like, happy birthday, Logan. Like, literally happy freaking birthday. And it was a surreal moment. And then I got home, and I immediately got into bed and fell fast asleep. But honestly, it was the perfect birthday present for myself, because I was just able to be present. I was able to reflect. I was able to rely on myself to get me where I wanted to go, and to fully feel like, hey, like, I got you. Like, you're okay. You can have confidence in yourself. You can do hard things. And literally, like, my entire mantra for the weekend was be bold. Be bold, step out in confidence, meet someone new. I had so many interactions with different people, and it was like truly like a very divine feeling. Like, I was supposed to be here. I was supposed to like meet these people, and I I just honestly could not be more grateful for Dear Media for putting on such an amazing event, for getting me out of Missouri and into Austin, Texas, and experiencing the life there, experiencing all it had to offer. I can't wait to go back. I'm like trying to plan a trip with Garrett, like to go back somehow. And I don't know. It was truly amazing. It was the best birthday present for myself. But you know what would be the best second birthday present for myself? Is if you rated and reviewed the podcast. I'm telling you, like, subscribe to the email list, like, do it, because a huge announcement is coming on Friday. But share this with a friend, give me a 5-star rating, all the things. And thank you for listening. Until next time, bye.